gonna do two, everyone. Oh, here's another one. Happy Friday and happy last day of camp, campers. Wow, time has really flown. Good morning. If you're in the chat, give me a shout out. Welcome to the last day of our Photoshop DCC, Daily Creative Challenge, or what we have been calling Camp Photoshop. It's been an amazing 2 weeks. I'm really sad it's almost over, but we still have this last challenge, so we'll get through it. What's up, Moeller? I'll introduce myself super quickly, although I'm guessing most of you already know who I am if you've been a part of the challenge. I'm Kathleen. I'm your host here. I'm a designer here at Adobe as well, and I'm also on Adobe Live quite frequently, so I hope to see you around even after the challenge ends. We've got Samantha in the chat, Jordan, good morning, Sean, Samuel, Chad, Sam, Adobe Live, of course, Anna, Voltaire, Stu. It's good to see you all. We're going to jump into this challenge real quickly, but if you do want to check out what's going on, you can go to behance.net/challenge/Photoshop, and that will take you to this Daily Creative Challenge landing page. It might be a little late to register for this challenge, but you can always join the community, and we'll talk about that in a moment. What this challenge is over the course of 9 days or 9 challenges, you will get a new challenge every day and you will learn the basics of Photoshop along with some kind of frequently asked questions or workflows. So we've covered retouching portraits, customizing images, making postcards, so things for print, designing logos, distressing images, designing posters, that kind of thing. What's up, John? Good to see ya. Celia, hello. And then today, I usually like to do some sort of animation on the last day, so we are going to be making a GIF or a GIF today. So it says make a digital flipbook by tracing video frames in Photoshop. So we're going to be using something called rotoscoping. If you've never heard of that, it's pretty cool. I love the way it looks. And it's kind of a really nice way to jump into animation if you have no background in it and don't know how to animate. So it's going to be really, really fun. Up here it says you can also join the community chat, so part of that is what you're doing right now over here in the chat. I'm motioning towards the screen where I can see all of you chatting. But you can also join Discord, so this would be a great idea to join now. Since we have the week off next week, you can still hang out in Discord. It doesn't close down, so everyone can keep chatting. Who knows, maybe I'll pop in. What's on the shirt? A power bear. My thunder animal. Very cool. Yeah, make the best of the coming hiatus, totally. So join us on Discord. You can go to bit.ly/psdiscord. The P and the S are capital. You can also watch the daily live show, which is happening right now. You can also watch the replays if you would like. So these aren't going anywhere. They don't just disappear. We keep them all. So you can always watch the video and then scroll down to the bottom. You can watch the videos from the past challenges as well. Hey, Ron, Mamta. Good to see ya. Then finally, we're going to share our work in Discord, and we're also going to upload it on Behance, which I will show you. It's not the most intuitive workflow, so I will help you in any way that I can. So here is Discord. It's amazing. I love hanging out in here with all of you. I'll make this a little bit bigger. When you join, you can check out the welcome channel. So this has all of the kind of FAQ questions, what all of the channels do. Design feedback is really, really important, and since this is the last day, I'm going to spend a little bit of time in this channel at the end of the stream giving some live feedback. So if you want to post your work now that you've been working on, then for the last 5 to 10 minutes of the stream, I'll be doing some reviewing. So go ahead and post your work if you'd like. You can also join the chat, so this is where you just talk about random stuff, design stuff, life stuff. Have any questions, you can always put it in Ask a Question. There we go. And then there's also challenge suggestions, which I think is really cool. If you have a good idea for a workflow that you'd like to cover, post it on in here. We're vying for a painting and drawing challenge. That would be really awesome. We have some amazing digital painters on our roster, including Voodoo Val, Sam Peterson. It'd be pretty cool. Myself, I guess. Not on their level, though. Hey, Carlos. So Samuel says, I would never think to use Photoshop for rotoscoping. I thought that was an After Effects only thing. Samuel, you're about to get your mind blown. So I'm going to show you some examples of rotoscoping so you can kind of understand the context. If you've ever heard of the movie A Scanner Darkly, You probably are well aware of Keanu Reeves. He's pretty popular right now. But this whole movie was rotoscoped. Now they used a proprietary program to do the rotoscoping, but I think it kind of looks like Illustrator, right? But so the idea is basically that you draw over video footage to make an animation that very closely mimics real life. I think the origins of rotoscoping were more like we have two pieces of footage and we want to kind of splice them together. Like say you have a landscape shot of a building and then you have some birds in a different shot flying. You can rotoscope them together so they look like they're in the same frame, kind of like compositing. But this is kind of what rotoscoping is in my mind these days. Yeah, such a cool effect, I agree. So this is super realistic and kind of polished. There's also more expressive rotoscoping. A lot of people like to do rotoscoping for dance, especially K-pop. People love to rotoscope K-pop dances. So this is awesome. There's so much good texture in here. They make the perfect shareable GIFs. This is Aha, Take Me On, one of the great examples of rotoscoping. Lots of good texture in here too. And then it could be as simple as this. So just having a video of your hand doing a cool thing and then tracing over every frame. That movie was way ahead of its time technology-wise. I know, that whole movie was ahead of its time. All right, so the workflow that we're going to use is not gonna be only animation. We're actually gonna be drawing on top of the video. So I provided a starter file. Yeah, Chad, totally, take on me. Yes, there you go, not take me on. So this is the video that I've provided. And our end result, instead of being all drawn, we're gonna combine drawing and video. So this will be what we end up with. Oh wait, that's not it. Here it is. Let's see if I can make this any bigger. So you'll notice that I drew on every single little frame to add a little bit of color and personality to our images. So this would be so cool if you took like a selfie video of yourself and then drew on top of yourself, added little notes maybe, or movement animations. You'll notice I added a couple little like flourishes pop out when the flower really blooms. So this is super easy in Photoshop. I will show you very quickly. Nora says now you have that song stuck in your head. Awesome. Okay, so if you have that video downloaded, all you have to do is go to Photoshop, click open, and open your video file. I know, you can open video files in Photoshop. What? Alrighty, so when you open a video file in Photoshop, it should open the timeline for you as well, since it's guessing that you'll probably use it. So this is the timeline. But if you don't see it, you can always come to Window up here at the top and make sure Timeline is checked. It looks like After Effects. Nice! I know, you can do so much in Photoshop. It's amazing. And then if you do open a video file in Photoshop and you don't see this timeline, maybe you see this. Maybe you see the frame animation. Here, let me drag it up so you can see it behind me. Maybe you see this instead. It's super easy to toggle between the two workspaces. All you do is come down here, right here, oh, right there. Convert to video timeline, and that will bring you back to the video timeline. So yeah, it's like we have a little After Effects right in our Photoshop. Didn't even know you could open videos in Photoshop. I'll cheers to that. Holly says, I just got my coffee. This looks like fun. Yay, cheers. Yeah, the starter file is also in the challenge tab. Totally. Tom says, try Imagine app for a similar rotoscope effect when filming a live mode. Oh, very cool. That's awesome. I'm interested to try that out. Okay, so let me give you a little bit of a rundown about how this workspace even works before we get into actually rotoscoping. So here you can see, well, no, you can't see because I'm in the way. Let me just make this smaller for the time being. Here you can see there's the playhead. So this is kind of typical of any video player you've ever used. You can drag it to progress the video, drag it back to take it back. Then you'll also see these little markers. So you'll see one on the end and one at the beginning. And that's gonna kind of designate the scope of the video that we're actually going to work on. So for example, if I drag this right one way close to the start of the video, get out of the way, and I hit play, it's only going to play that section over and over again instead of playing the whole thing. All right, we're going to drag it back out. There's also this slider right here, which is basically how much of the timeline you're going to see. So you could imagine if you're working on like a feature film, you might need to be pretty zoomed out. So we're going to have kind of like this far away view. The icons are little mountains, one's bigger and one's smaller. So it's like, how big is that mountain? How far away are you? So if we want to zoom in, you'll see we can see things just frame by frame. And this is kind of where we're going to live for this project, because we're going to be working frame by frame. Okay. I'm wondering, is it possible to put me over on the right side of the screen? I think we're not really going to be using the layers panel at all. Surprisingly, for once. Yay, I moved. Teleportation. It's the future. Okay. So the file that I provided to you all, I believe I already set it to 10 frames per second, because you can imagine if we're using like a 30 frames per second video and it's like 7 seconds long, that would be a lot of just drawing over and over again. It would be really smooth, but it's not totally necessary, especially if the output is going to be a GIF, which is usually a little lower quality. So one way to change the basically frame rate or frame number per second is we're going to come over here to this, well, now I'm in the front of it, this little hamburger icon, and we are going to pick, I always lose this option and I can never find it, but it's always in the same place. And, okay, here it is. Set timeline frame rate. So down here near the bottom. Oh, cool, I'm in the middle now. Okay, so my original video file is set to 30, and I'm gonna bump this down to like 7. It's gonna look a little stop motion-y, but not too bad. And for the sake of this live stream, I don't wanna have to draw like 300 frames. Okay, so you'll notice if I play this, it's a little more stop and go. It's not as smooth and buttery, but it still is clearly animation, right? Okay, so let's just start drawing. It's super easy. You don't need to make any new layers. You can just literally draw on top of the video. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to choose a cool brush. I'd like a little bit of texture, I think. So I'm just up here in my brushes. Let's see, what's this look like? That looks kind of cool. I'm going to make sure it is set to normal. Ooh, yeah, that's nice. I'm going to bump my size down quite a bit. Okay, cool. And in my sample, I kind of did a rainbow gradient. So every time I switched frames, I kind of bumped my colors further down the rainbow. You should levitate, Kathleen. I should, shouldn't I? We'll see if that happens. And then let's just start drawing. I'm probably only going to do a couple of these because I feel like it'd be super boring for all of you to watch me animate so many frames. But before I do that, I'm going to make sure my smoothing is turned up pretty high because I am just using a mouse. I don't have my tablet with me. When I'm drawing on top of this, I want it to look pretty smooth. So here we go. I'm just going to kind of roughly move this. Roughly make this kind of gestural outline. And then when I move to the next frame, it's gone. Never fear. I'm gonna kind of continue doing that. It's easy because it's closed up right now, so I don't have to do anything too wild. Maybe we'll add a little bit over here this time. And since I noticed that these petals are really starting to open now, I might start doing one of these little droplet flourishes. So I'm going to start it, move it over. What's up, Valentine? We're just rotoscoping over here. I'm going to continue my flourish, pushing it a little bit further this time. One thing that might be helpful is if we go over to this hamburger icon again, enable onion skins, and that's going to allow us to see the previous frame, so that I'll know where to continue pushing the illustration animation. Alrighty. push it even further. And I'm gonna turn it off because I kind of like going by the seat of my pants. Don't really need to see the onion skins. I trust myself. Okay, push it further, and I think that this would be really cool, like I said, for like a selfie, or maybe you have just like a landscape of your city skyline perhaps. You could add some birds flying across. You could hand write some script and then have it write off. That'd be cool. So let's see what we have so far. It's probably not going to be a lot because I've only done like 6 frames. Drag this down. Press play. It already looks cool. I like this nice kind of like squiggle circular shape. Michelle says we should do a bunch of DCCs for all of our products. It'd be amazing and so helpful for new people and others who've been working with Adobe products for a while. Awesome, Michelle. Thanks for saying that. I'm glad that you think it'd be helpful. And I agree. Eventually, I hope that we can really extend this. We did an Illustrator one last year, but we find people have tons of questions about Photoshop and XD. So I think we're focusing on that for now. Can you go back and edit previous framework? That is one thing, Ken, with this workflow. It is pretty destructive, so it is hard to go back. Like if I were to go back and try to erase. It would erase the whole frame. So this isn't the most, or it isn't the best if you're trying to do a really intense workflow, but if you do just want to scribble on top of some video footage, it's pretty cool. Okay, so I'm gonna open the project that is totally done and show you how to export it so you can post it anywhere you want. Michelle says, time to step up that GIF game. People are gonna hate me. No, they're gonna be jealous of you. That's what they're gonna be. Alrighty, here it is. So this is my file that is totally done. It's so satisfying, right? Now you can come in here and crop things if you'd like. I kind of don't like how there's just so much black space on either side. Alrighty, and let's get this exported. I must try this, it looks excellent. Yay, Mamta, I'm so glad. Can you add a single layer to make it non-destructive? It's tough. You can do that, but then it becomes layer by layer animation. Let me show you what I mean. So over here in the layers panel, if I add a new layer, you'll notice that it comes after the video file. And there's no way for me to put it on top or below so that it happens at the same time as the frame in the video. But if I drag this layer outside of the video group, now it's on its own kind of stack. And I can drag it on top, but say I draw on this layer, and then I move to the next frame, it stays there. So what you could do is make a bunch of layers and then make them last only a frame. So there's one, and then here's the next one. And in this way you could do frame by frame, but then it becomes frame by frame and you have to have a different layer for every single animation. So if you do want to work kind of non-destructively, this might be the way to do it. You'd have a lot of layers stacked on top of each other. And in that case, it might be better to just use the frame animation workspace. Okay. Let's delete those layers. Go back, go back, go back, go back, go back. So the way that you export an animated GIF from Photoshop is you go up to File, Export, and then Save for Web Legacy. This is the one that I use. It would be a little tedious. Animation is tedious, so that's kind of the name of the game, but it'd be a lot of work. Could you hide the drawing and just hide the background and just show the drawing? If you wanted to do that, you just have to do it the layer way that I just described with a bunch of different layers. And then you would just turn off the video layer. Yeah, I know. Imagine this as a slow-mo video at 240 FPS. That'd be a lot of drawing. Okay, so we are in the Save for Web workspace right now. Here's some important stuff. Over here on the top right, you're gonna make sure that GIF is selected. That means there's gonna be animation involved. Your colors, they can go up to 256. And we're gonna want that, since this is an actual video file, we're gonna want as many colors as we want. Say if I lower this down to 8, our video would look very like dithered. You'll see all these little dots, which is kind of cool. It's stylistic for sure. But we want this to be as realistic as possible. Could even do 2, black and white. Or 2 colors. There we go. Alrighty. Now down here in image size, it's important that you make this a little bit smaller. GIFs, especially if you're posting them on social like Instagram or Twitter, or just your own website, they are an animation, so they're going to be taking a lot of power to just play continuously. So you're going to want to make them a little bit smaller so they're not taking as much of a load. So in width, I'm going to put this at about 500. And it's going to make it a lot smaller. I can zoom in on it, see how it looks. Maybe 600. We'll go big today. You're gonna spend your whole weekend playing with this? Yay, great. Alrighty, another important thing is in animation looping options, make sure forever is chosen so that it will just keep looping back and forth forever. Now we can also check the preview. So I'm going down here to the bottom, clicking preview, and I'll actually show how it should look on a web browser. So you can check the sizing, if the timing is too fast. A lot of times if you do frame by frame animation in Photoshop, it will look slower in Photoshop, and then when you look at the preview, it'll be a lot faster. So sometimes you'll have to go back and change your frame. 15.7 MB is a load and a half. Yeah, it is. That is not a great size for a GIF. Whoops, back to Photoshop, please. Okay, okay. There we go. All right, yeah, you can check the file size as well. Okay, and you can check it down here. This will show you a preview of what your parameters are gonna be. So 1.5, yeah, that's okay. We'll do it for the Behance. Now instead of clicking done, we're gonna click save. We're gonna choose where we wanna put it. We're gonna put it in our DCC folders. You'll see one for July has appeared. Ooh. So day 9, Lily Bloom, put live in front of there. Save it, and then when we find it in our files, so much navigating. It has appeared. If I press spacebar, now we have a preview. What is the best frame size to work on? It depends where your GIF's gonna go eventually. But I would keep your actual native file pretty big, and then you can always size it down when you export it. Fantastic Mr. Fox is one of my favorite movies. Yay, me too. My husband is an animator for both stop motion I Love Dogs, Fantastic Mr. Fox. Whoa, that's incredible. Holly, I want to talk to you more about that. That's very cool. Alrighty, so let's get this uploaded onto Behance. Thankfully, Behance projects support GIFs, which is amazing. So this is how we're gonna update our project. We're gonna go to Behance, our profiles. We're gonna hover over this cog, click edit, and then we're gonna scroll on down. I think an animation is the perfect way to close out a project, especially if it says like thanks for watching or thanks for looking. You could write that on and have it right off. That'd be pretty cool. Those little details are very important. So we'll do day 9. Rotoscoping. Insert our media. We're gonna navigate to our files. And if you do this over the weekend or over the next week, please tag me. I want to see them. You can tag me at Kathleen Illustrated. That's who I am pretty much everywhere. We're going to open it and watch it play. It's so beautiful. Okay, cool, Noor. Looking forward to it. Just going to add a little bit of text here. Why is there an apostrophe there? Thanks for watching. Very cool. All right, now in our settings, we're gonna make sure, as always, that our keyword is PS Daily Challenge. Save it. Yay, Ken! Aish, that's so cool. Okay, let's go check it out. And we're done! So I didn't have any time to go over reviews, but I will jump into design feedback right after this stream. Chat, I'm gonna be back on July 8th for another Daily Creative Challenge. So you have 1 week off to practice all your skills, then I'll be back with even more content. It's gonna be amazing. We have, I think, some more streams happening today, maybe XD coming up soon in a bit. So this has been a really nice 2 weeks. I really enjoyed getting to know you all. Please keep chatting on Discord, participate in future challenges, and I will see you on the internet. Can't wait. Bye, everybody. See ya.